Jumbo and Habari, everyone. Welcome to our final night of Kwanzaa, a modern celebration 2025. Tonight, we uplift Imani. We are talking about faith. My guest, as has been the case all week long, is absolutely phenomenal. I'm so excited for you all to meet this amazing woman. But before we do, it's time to light our candles. So we begin, as always, in the center. Habari gani, what's the news? Not umoja, which is unity. Tonight is not for kujichagulia, which is self-determination. Tonight is not for ujima, which means collective work and responsibility. It was night 4 when we uplifted ujama, which is cooperative economics. Night 5 is for Nia, which is purpose. Last night was for Kuumba, creativity. And tonight, the news is Imani, faith. Y'all, we are coming to the end of our formal celebration for this year. But remember that we celebrate and uplift Kwanzaa 365 days a year. We are literally living Kwanzaa 365. So with all of our candles lit, let's take a moment of gratitude for the journey, for all of you who have been here each night, for all of you who are new and are going to go back and watch all the other episodes. I'm grateful and just so satisfied in everything that we have done. But we're not done, because tonight I have none other than Dr. Tamara Hall-Lewis. Y'all, she is an educator, a leader, and a tech-forward entrepreneur who's committed to helping faith-centered creators, ministries, and educators thrive in a digital age. She's the founder of DivinAI Systems, an AI-powered platform that equips leaders with ethical AI frameworks, creative tools, and systems for impact at iSpeak Tees LLC, which is a faith fashion brand rooted in storytelling and visual evangelism. Y'all, with her background in education and ministry, with research, Tamara bridges tradition and innovation, honoring ancestral wisdom while embracing modern tools. Her work centers on creativity, faith, cultural identity, and building legacy through purpose-driven systems. Please welcome, friends, none other than Dr. Tamara Hall-Lewis.
Hey guys, how are you? Hello, glad to be here.
First and foremost, thank you for coming to spend a little time with us and to celebrate Kwanzaa together. This holiday is wonderful and special, and to get to share it with folks is a joy for me. So let's dive right in. What do you say?
Sure, I'm ready. Let's go.
So we all know how much I love Kwanzaa, but tell me a little bit about what your background or your familiarity with Kwanzaa is.
Okay, so I don't have a lot of background with Kwanzaa. Of course, as a young child, we heard a lot about it through different various venues or avenues, but I don't have any personal experience. I am familiar with some of the principles because they're shared principles of faith, but that's as far as I have.
And that's fine. I think there also is a lot of there's trepidation for folks who have never celebrated Kwanzaa before. But here you have it, folks. We have friends who are new to the celebration, and they're diving right in with us and plowing forward. So you can come along too. Kwanzaa's for everybody.
Right.
I love that you are so open to these ideas and these principles, and that you've already found some commonalities between these principles and what you're doing in your life. So let's talk about tonight's principle, which is Imani, or faith, which means to believe with all our heart in our Creator, our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle.
Right. For me, faith is a foundation It's a foundation that we can share as a community of believers, as a community of people. It crosses all barriers. Like faith is simply belief, but what are you going to believe in? What are you putting your energy into? What are you putting your thought, your heart, your mind into? What is it that you're investing in that you believe so wholeheartedly that could manifest, right? So I think it's a principle that we apply in all areas of our life. It's just a matter of whether you recognize that you have faith, that you're exercising faith, whether you recognize that the foundation of everything that we do starts out with a belief, a thought, and grows from there. So I think it's an essential principle across all cultures, all faiths, all religions, however you want to put it. It's just essential for all of us to have faith. Now, what you have faith in, those are various differences, right? But I think it's essential, it's important.
I have to agree wholeheartedly. One of the things that I'm kind of keeping my eye towards, it's popping up in my social feed, and I hear lots of buzz in my circles about it. The monks that are doing their walk for peace.
This is so ironic. Okay,
I'm just tickled. I'm just tickled. And I love that I see so many Black women showing up in big ways for these monks who are traveling. If it's one thing about a Black woman, we're going to feed you. We're going to check on you. We're going to see if you're doing all right. And I just think it's beautiful that though we don't have this, like you said, the belief in that same deity or in that same religious path, we are still showing up as believers and as people of faith for those monks. Can we just chat a little bit about our friends who are walking for peace?
Listen, I want to say Jesus, I'd have to say it this way. So Jesus sat with a lot of people he didn't agree with in terms of belief. He sat with them to issue compassion and love. What we do as a people is greater than who we define ourselves as in terms of I'm this religion, I'm that religion, I'm this person, I'm that person. Like what we do in terms of how we treat our neighbor, these are principles that we should be adhering to. How we treat our community, how we love one another, those greater principles, those things that we keep hearing. One thing that I reiterate quite often is there are a lot more things in common across religions than there are separate. The problem we have is we're so divided in our mindset at times, that we don't allow that commonality to come into place or that peace that can provide us with unity. And so watching the monks, and I think it's a beautiful thing because what they have shown us is, one, the community is bigger than just them, right? They've shown us that what it takes to unite people is action, but we all know biblical perspective that faith without action is what? Dead, right? And so they're showing us action and what we should, it's a moving principle. Our faith is a moving principle. It's not just have faith and wait and do nothing. It's have faith and actively believe in what you have faith in. They're showing us what the exercise of faith is. And I think it's just remarkable to see them walk and they have a purpose. I'm walking for peace. Now we'll get into peace if you'd like, but I have to tell people that peace is not calm, but I'll just, I'll save that one. But that I think it's just a great thing that they're doing. And you're right. We show up. We're going to always show up. If we don't do anything we protect people. I also want us to be aware that we need to protect us. Like we need to be showing up for us. Like that's something that I'm really big on for Black women. Like we have to show up for us. We're so busy surviving. We don't realize when survival doesn't work anymore and we have to do something. That's right. Different. Yeah.
We get trapped in that fight or flight response. We get trapped in survival mode, and that's what prevents us from thriving and from growing and truly becoming all that we are called to be.
Right.
It's just amazing that as you were talking, I was seeing all of these different principles of Kwanzaa specifically pop up in these monks' journey. They are calling people together in unity, and people are showing up. They are being expansive about how they are walking. There's more than just these monks in a line. They have the dog and everything, y'all. But the police are out front providing security. They have a follow wagon. Yep. They have a van that, you know, all of the donations and the gifts and the things that are being brought out for them, they can't drag all of that stuff walking down the street. They have someone who's driving in the van behind them. They're cooperating with other local entities in terms of where they're sleeping and security. And there's so much that has to be coordinated, and they have to work cooperatively just to make this happen. Walking for a purpose specifically. They are in action, walking for peace. My mind is just blown, and like I've become one of those followers who's like tuning in. I'm on their social page, and I'm watching on Facebook to see where they are, and the turnout and the reaction of especially Black women. I have to
always.
Especially Black women are showing up for them, and being leaders in exemplifying what it looks like to show up for people.
Right.
And again, that reciprocity. Okay, we've shown up for everybody else. Let's make sure that y'all show up for us in turn also.
Yeah, I really do want us to do that. I want us to get to a place where we take care of each other and ourselves. So
100%.
We definitely need to do that more.
Yeah. And the monks are walking for peace. They're walking cross country and all of that. But it occurs to me also that there are some small ways that we can show our faith in action. What do you think are some of the tiny steps, some of the little things that we can do in our everyday lives to show forth our faith?
So faith is not loud. It is consistent, and it is present, and it is honorable. It doesn't have to scream. And so to show our faith, we need to live a life that shows that we are not just tapped into, or how do I put it? We need to live a life of compassion, one of love, essentially of love. And then we need to have faith in God and move from that space. But the little things that we can do that I feel like kind of have gotten away from, but need to re-engage is the village, right? That concept of we couldn't go anywhere on the block because mama was telling us to go home at 6 o'clock. Can I just say this without bringing down the broadcast? There's too many children missing for me, right? And so I want our community to be in a place where we're exercising faith, because we're together and we see some, like those little, what looks like little, like, what are you doing out here? Those are elements of faith and love and concern that we could be exercising. It could be as simple as going to check on the widow in her elderly time. It could be as simple as carrying somebody's groceries. I have seen an enormous amount of faith and man, just in everything that people do every day, like going through the drive-through and paying for the person behind you, or whatever the case is. You just don't know what people are going through and where they need to see you. And the greatest thing for us is they're not listening to what you say. They're watching how you walk. And if you walk like you know who you serve, then that is a greater testimony than anything that you could ever say. My opinions, but it's just the way I feel. So those elements of faith a faith walk is a daily, I don't go away. I'm constantly here. When my feet hit the floor, my faith hits the floor. That's kind of where we are with faith. It's a journey of our daily life, and it should always exercise love first. Right?
I love that. Please put that on one of your T-shirts. When my feet hit the floor, my faith hits the floor.
I have to think about that.
I'm just saying. I love a good T-shirt. And just, keeping things light is important. But let's take a detour, because you said something that brought something up for me. You talked about being responsible for each other's kids. Now I know that's technically
right.
But
we don't do that anymore.
But I think what that drives me to think about is the fact that we have to have faith in each other and trust that whoever you are expecting to, keep an eye out for your kids when you're not around, that they're going to do right by them, that they are going to step in, intercede, protect, correct when needed. And we can talk about this a little bit from from the standpoint of an educator.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Does it always feel like parents really have faith in educators to help and do and grow their kids?
I think it depends on a lot of factors, but I think one primarily, and it's only based on my experience, is the level or the age of the child. I find that the younger grades or younger levels, elementary, middle school is kind of iffy, but the parents, and I'm being one of them, have more faith in the ability of the educator to not just teach their children, but protect them, to love them, to nurture them, right? I think as we get to high school, which is, where we are, now I love all 1,800 of my kids. That's just me, right? I don't care what nobody say. They drive us crazy. They say bad things. They do bad things. But at the end of the day, I'm going to always be the one to encourage them in my office. So that's just kind of where I'm at. But I think there's a disconnect there. Because I think we do have some really genuine people in place that love our students. But I do think, unfortunately, we've had some incidents that show parents that they have to protect their kids in some instances, not all, but in some. So I think it's a really good place to practice discernment. It really is. I can't speak any louder than that. Like, that's the thing that we'll have to apply situation by situation, teacher by teacher, because at the end of the day, you're responsible, right? Whether the teacher's in the classroom or not. And so we can hold people accountable, but the child is always my responsibility. So I used to go to a school and say, you got 1,800, but this is one of 4 of mine. So, because what a lot of people don't realize is educators, we're also parents.
Right.
We wouldn't do anything. Most of us wouldn't do anything that we wouldn't want done to our own children. Like, we take care of them. We love them. We want to be the village, but it is hard in this time to be that village, because in both lanes, there's some mistrust and misalignment, whether parent or educator. So,
do you feel like that also applies as a pastor? Do you feel like that also applies in our church homes? Or are you seeing like, well, they trust us here, but they don't trust us here, but they trust us here, but they don't trust us here? I'm curious now.
I feel like you're about to get me in trouble, but I'm here for the conversation. So I'm going to say this and know that I'm already ready. Okay. I'm already ready. Bring the comments, come on my page. Let's have a conversation. I'm like already ready because it's coming anyways. I feel like there has been a history in the church, and now let me separate the church and the people of the church, because I think it's important to get those things together. But the people of the church, there has been a great deal of misleading, and historically, and I'll just say historically in the Black church. Like, I can't, sorry, and call them that. It actually is happening everywhere. So like, I'm not just. But a lot of things have been swept under the rug. A lot of things have been hidden. A lot of people have been told to just move on. I mean, like, don't worry about it, or stay with that man that's beating you. God don't believe in divorce, and those kind of narratives. And what we're seeing now is a shift, right? We have people leaving ministries, leaving churches because that trust has been eroded. And at this point, COVID just helps you to step outside the door, but we haven't positioned ourselves to bring them back in. So we need to go where they are to be a witness. But right now, what we're allowing to happen is, and I'll say these words because I already know they're about to be a trigger. Okay. We're allowing church hurt to come in and flood our space. And get me very clear. There is church hurt. I'm not even ready to announce it like it's not. That's a lie. I'm not going to tell you that. People are genuinely hurt. But from the pulpit to the pew, we have a conversation we need to have rather than we continuously sweeping it under the rug, because I do believe that there's restoration in ministry. But we first have to have a conversation that clears some air. It's not about who's right or who's wrong. It's about perspectives. Because in some cases, pastors were trying to protect the flock. And in some cases, parents or women or men or whoever were trying to protect their families. So there's a delicate
dance. There's a It's a line to be straddled, and I think that's not how I want to phrase that. Let me recall that statement, and let me put it this way: there are multiple perspectives that
Yes.
people are holding, and everyone from their perspective feels like they're doing the right thing. They feel
Right.
like they are doing what's necessary.
That part.
So I can see how that can be tricky. So they're gonna be on my page commenting too. Don't worry. We'll get some popcorn and sit
I'm
down
good with
together.
it though. I'm ready for this conversation because listen, whether we like it or not, God's house got to be in order.
Well, and in my coaching practice, I would rather have the conversation than not have the conversation,
Right.
because we can't get to any solution if we don't work through what needs to be said, what needs to be honored, what truths need to be exposed.
Yeah.
We can't get to those conversations if we just are all sitting there with our arms folded in our mouse box, as my great grandmother would say.
Because one of the things I say about healing journeys is there is no healing if we can't acknowledge it. Like I hear this statement a lot, and I'm sorry if I'm throwing us off tangent. You can tell me no, we're not there. So I hear this statement a lot. You're responsible for your own healing. Yeah, they are. Yes, they are. Wholeheartedly. I agree. But how can you heal from something you never acknowledged? When you think you're walking the right path and you're not doing anything wrong, you're in survival mode. So everything you do is trauma-based reaction. When do you expect them to heal when they don't even know that they're in a place that's reckless? Like they don't know. So yes, it is their responsibility, but how about we feed them faith until they can get in a place where they can acknowledge where they have been faulty? How about we feed them love until we get to that place? And that's just my side note, because I wonder about how we make people responsible for something they don't even know they're going through.
That is a burden that we lay at people's feet.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is because the work of having those conversations and the work of uncovering that stuff is hard.
It is.
It's not easy, and it's messy.
It is.
It takes time. And it's all of those things that, like, we as a society and as a village don't always want to dig into. We want you to go over there and fix it. Go in the corner, cry it out, and come back ready to do what you need to do.
Right.
And that is not how any of this actually works.
Because at some point it comes to a head.
A big ugly one. Big ugly one. We're already sort of into this, and we touched on it a little earlier in terms of Imani, but the other principles of Kwanzaa, how do they show up quietly in your life? I know that, again, you wear lots and lots of hats. I like to refer to them as geles, traditional African handbags. You wear lots of geles in your life. You are a mom. You are an educator, a pastor, you're a business leader. You got a lot of things going on. And I'm just curious as to how these things show up day to day for you in those little quiet moments.
I had been, and truthful moments, I had been building in isolation. I tend to be a hermit crab, or, go into my little space because my space feels safe. Right. I am somebody, and the reason why I speak so passionately about healing those things is because I had to walk through some things to get to where I'm at. And those are not processes we leave. We document as we go, whether we write them down or not. It's once you walk through it, you've been there. Right. Yeah. But they show up for me because I've had to walk through a process, and I've learned just in the past few years that I need to be connected to people. I need the unity, but not just I need the unity. We need the unity. Like, people, you want to figure out where your blessings are. The word of the Lord says, unity, therefore, is where your blessings flow. Ooh. Like, that's the word of the Lord. So I'm looking for blessings, but you're more blessed unified than you'll ever be alone. And so even when we talk about how can two run unless they agree, like, these are the things, the principles that got even Jesus walked the earth and aligned himself with people. Those things are important for us to have community and unity, and that collective work. It's our responsibility to take care of us. Like, as the Black community, we'll never, and we're my opinions, okay? I love my opinion though.
Strong opinions, good opinions.
Strongest, most resilient people on this planet, but it requires us to be collective in terms of our work, in terms of our mindset, to understand our shared gifting. Really, there are things that I look at us and I say, man, that's just a superpower of a Black man or a Black woman. It's just what God's grace has given us to exercise in those spaces. But so I think for me, they show up in learning, walking through my journey and realizing, hey, this is what collective work looks like. Or this is what community looks like, and this is why it's important. So now I'm intentional about my build, right? Because I'm always going to be a builder, but now I have to be intentional, understanding that I need those people connected, and not because there is a isolated benefit just for me, but because together we build something great in the kingdom. So like I'm just going to continue to connect with them, and because and we need people. We need them in terms of love, in terms of that emotional connection, and kind of that part of it. We need them for that as well. They need us, and we need them. I just don't think we always realize just how significant that connection is for everybody. We're so busy. Y'all do what y'all do over there. We don't do what we do over here. And it works, but it doesn't. Like it's at some point comes to a head. I can't tell you how many elderly people don't have people to care for them. Right? Like I'm getting older. I love my kids, but I'm just kidding. My baby's gonna come through, but it's a lot. But I'm watching people get older who don't have the family connection, the community connection, and then who cares for them when they're sitting alone at home and can't do for themselves. Like we have to have people. We got to plug in. It's the thing that we need to do. And that's for me too. Like I got to plug in and not build over here in the corner. Like I got to be plugged into my community. So you'll see me step out a little bit more, because some things don't come to you till you get a little older,
And that's true. And I think some of that happens also in reverse. I know that when I was younger, like community was all I knew. I grew up in a big, lively household. I've talked about my family on here before. We are a mess, girl. We're all the time, everywhere. And I grew up with this big, loving, loud family that's always eating and always doing something. And okay. And then I also had my dance family, and we grew up, competing together, and I had all of these little pods and all of these little circles, but none of them ever really bumped into the others. And so I was kind of at the center of all of those different things. And as you grow up, those different things fall away. Your high school friends are not there. Like my college friends, we graduated and got good jobs on the far-flung ends of the universe.
Right.
So they're not there every day. If I pick up the phone and shout hooty hoo and hang up, they're gonna in the next
right.
In the next 3 hours or so,
right,
things will start to activate.
Right.
But as I grow older, when I moved to Raleigh, North Carolina, my husband was the only somebody I knew, and I had to actively and intentionally go build another community, and I had to start at work. With the people that I was working with. And from there, I found a few other activities. And then I was, and those pods, as much as they did grow, and I have some amazing communities that I've joined with and gotten to know over the years, they're not like those original communities I started out with, the depth and the breadth and the scope of them. They're very, very different. They're much more tight-knit, focused and singular in their purpose. And so it's been a trip to see how that has changed. But I know we are fighting an epidemic of loneliness. There are people, and they're not just elders. There are young, healthy people who are living in their house, working from home, and they might go get takeout and come back to the house. They haven't had a hug. They haven't had a conversation with a real person, not on a screen. It's just interesting how the world is attempting to divide us, and not by force with wedge, But like just the way that the world operates now just lends itself to more people being in isolation.
And that's why I think it's important for us to be intentional, those of us that recognize it, because there is a mindset that says, not me in my house. We don't do that. We're not going over there. We're going to be over here. Y'all do what y'all want to do over there. That mindset is present, but there is also a mindset that says we recognize that people are isolated and alone. I think, and I've been saying this for a while, and I don't know how to fix it, and I have to be reminded it's not my job to fix it, but I still be trying to plug in, right? But I say this a lot, that the biggest disaster from the pandemic is not the pandemic itself, although people were lost, and I'm not saying that wasn't devastating, but what we're looking at is the aftermath. Mm-hmm. But they're looking at the aftermath, and children who have graduated that dealt with the pandemic when they're in 9th grade now don't know how to function in society. From not knowing how to function, from so many people saying now I have social anxiety, it's too many people in the room. And then when they get the wish that they've been speaking, then it's an isolation and they still need somebody to check for them. That's a tricky situation, because in some instances you don't know that people are alone, right? And so that's why, I'm a little bit odd, but that's why I purposely speak to people like the gas
I was just about to say.
I do. Like I purposely run into people on purpose. Like you're at the gas station, I'm at the gas station too, and I've been waiting for you somehow. But really, I didn't know you was coming. You didn't know I was coming. We just met up. But I do. And my kids sometimes are like, oh. like, that lady ain't even talking to you. But I'm going to do it anyways, because you just don't know what can change someone's life or their path or their trajectory, or even if you can interrupt a thought, man, like, you know what I mean? Like, you just don't know what they're going home to do, what they're going home to think about, what home looks like. But if you can give them a moment to kind of be released from that, I think is a great gift. And so I think we need to be intentional about speaking. Like, it's weird, right? Like, greeting somebody. Yeah.
It's not weird to me.
Greet them, by all means, greet them. Greet them, ask them how they're doing, but don't ask and walk away. Like, ask for real. Hey, how you doing? You don't hold the responsibility of what they're going through, but you could say how you're doing. And if it's not good, hey, I'm praying that gets better. It's not your job to fix it, to do anything about it, but you are genuinely concerned, because like you could find yourself in that place and you would want somebody. I guess that's the biggest part. Sometimes you don't even know that you need somebody to speak to you, right? Mm-hmm. So look, as I sit here and have moments in my head, but yeah, so like, yeah, just greet somebody. Like, greet somebody. It's not going to hurt you to say, hey, good morning. Buy somebody a cup of coffee. Like, you ain't got to put them in your car to buy them a cup of coffee. Y'all both at the coffee place, buy them a cup of coffee. Like, do something good for somebody. Just because I think it's important that we get every opportunity we get, that we show people how much we care about them. Mm-hmm. Right? That's just
You're absolutely right. And now that I have a new boss, she lets me go out to coffee shops to work.
Oh.
And when I get there, I just, I make it a habit to not find the one table that's off by itself way in a corner. And I'm good for striking up a conversation, and, I get done what I need to get done. But at the same time, I've expanded my network. I've said, hey, how are you? Or I've inquired about, like, I run into college students all the time, and, based on what stack of textbooks they have or what other right. going on, I just feel like my inclination to speak to folks is just what you said. I just want to reach out and let them know there's somebody in the world who saw you today. Somebody saw you and you mattered.
And so that part needs to go on a shirt. Somebody saw you and you matter.
And you mattered. Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm so excited about everything that I'm hearing. I want to hear more about you as a business leader. Speaking of these shirts, tell me a little bit about, because I feel like that one probably came first. Where did you get the inspiration to start a faith-forward fashion line?
First of all, if you know me, then you know that I'm very plain Jane. But if you go on my page, you'll find that it has to be something somewhere. Let me say that the power of a no is a great gift. It's
Ooh.
an amazing gift. And sometimes we take our no's and we succumb to them. But then I'm in the Sarah Jakes mindset at times when she said, I eat my losses for breakfast. Yeah, I'm there. So tell me no, please. Okay. Anyway, so
Say it. I want to hear you.
sometimes it's a motivator. So my husband and I were doing a ministry event, and I asked a young lady to make us some shirts for our ministry. And she did, of course, and they were beautiful. And I said, hey, I really like this design. I want to buy it from you and be able to use it over again. I'm willing to pay, whatever the price you are asking. And her response to me was, I'm not really comfortable with my work being out there. And I was confused, but I didn't ask any questions. But I did hear the Lord say, what are you asking for? And so one principle I live by on a daily is there is absolutely nothing outside of my capacity. Like there's knowledge to get it, I can do it. That's just me, right? And so I said, okay, thank you. And I went about my merry way. So in 2018, I made some shirts. My husband was, because I'm crazy how crazy I get. He gonna be in.
Yeah, I got one of those.
What you need, babe? Okay, so he went and bought the machine. He went and bought everything I needed. I know what I was doing. I made his first shirt, and the letter was way down here on his belly. He rocked it like it was. he rocked that shirt like it was somebody's best, stellar award. And listen, it took me time to master the craft. And I said to a lady the other day, I said, you're the best customizer in Fayetteville. And that's not out of arrogance, but it took me time to learn the craft. And now that I know it, I know it. And so now it's just kind of effortless. But one of the things about my brand is we move prophetically. Like I don't just put anything on a shirt, right? Everything that you see on the shirts on our website are scripture-based or word-based. I hear in the spirit. And so what I hear in the spirit, I apply in the physical. And so we apply it to shirts. So we have one that says, I'm simply an ambassador. I'll give her a shot here. Apostle Esther Sanchez of King Courts Ministry. She used to do a live, and at the end of the live, she would just say, I'm simply an ambassador. And it just kept ringing in my ear. So it ended up on a shirt because it said more than I'm simply an ambassador for me. And so those are the kind of things I capture in the spirit, apply them to the shirt, because I believe wholeheartedly that you don't always have to say anything. Sometimes it's how you present yourself in a space that people are reading. And so if you can't comment, if you can't share the word the way you think you should, there are a lot of people, I'm not a preacher. You don't have to be a preacher. Wear this shirt. Let it talk, right? Let it talk, because they're all about faith, right? Yeah. So that's kind of how that came about. We've been in operation again since 2018. I'm super proud of the progress we've made and where we're headed, because it's it is the boss branch for all of my other endeavors. So yeah, so that's where we are with that one. And I'm just excited about it. Just, you can find it on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, we everywhere.
And you have to be these days.
You do.
We have to be. So tell me a little bit about DivinAI Systems.
So I just love God, right? And none that I'm doing is without me. But I pitched this last year, and I'll say this, not to be in a negative space. It's not negative. I don't know how to explain it. But anyways, last year around this time, around April, my husband, who's passed away since, he paid for me to attend an event with the Future Rich Aunties. And at that event, I was supposed to, my goal was to sit in the room and just listen, absorb information, get everything. But he challenged me, and actually challenged and slightly threatened, I'm not paying this money for you to go sit in the room. You're going to have to participate. So I thank God for the place where our spouses make us show up, when we don't want to. So he is the reason why I put together the pitch and got the third place win. And what came out of that is DivinAI, because I had already been dealing with AI quite a bit, like a lot before the people got wind of its pretty images. Like I have already, so like I knew a little bit more than a few others. And so I already knew I wanted to play with it. But now it is a mission of mine to ensure that faithpreneurs, ministries, and educators have the one up. Like, this is a place of innovation that we should be leading and not behind. And I especially feel for ministries that we've been behind long enough, and this is an opportunity for us to not only get ahead, but to lead. And so I'm in the mindset of positioning us to do just that. Now, I can't do everybody, but I'm gonna do who God allows me to.
It's so important. I think that that when you know what you see, and when you see what you see, it's so important to follow that unction and just be responsive. And thank God, again, like you said, for spouses who give that little elbow in the back and gone up there and say what you gotta say.
Right.
Because I think as women, that's part of the programming. We've not been encouraged in that way. It's second nature for my husband to just like get up, speak up. Oh, well, I'm gonna go tell him so and so. I'm like, can you do that? Is that a thing that can be done?
Oh, I so feel you.
Wow. Okay. And it just is part of that mindset that they have developed early on.
Right.
And so I love to see a woman leader. I love to see a faithpreneur, and I love to see someone who is also infusing the tech aspect. I think that like that's a happy meeting place. That's a fantastic intersection.
It's definitely fun for me. So I'm praying the big prayer. If you know what that is, then you already know what that is.
Listen, I got to leave little prayers alone. At this point, at my big age, I got to leave little prayers alone. I love that. We got to all like get on board for the big prayer.
Big prayers.
Now, you mentioned the Future Rich Aunties Facebook group, and I am terribly fascinated. Yeah, I'm going to get off the call and go join myself.
Good.
Let's talk a bit about what's happening over in that room, because that feels like a space that our viewers would be interested in.
Listen, so if you are a business owner, a woman and a business owner, you haven't met a room till you meet this room. And I just shared with the forward leader of this, Sylvia Glatton, that it is so easy for me to talk about how great this space is. Because in this room, you're not just going to come and show up and get some good information. Like, you're getting equipped for real. Resources. If you don't know how to do it, you can find out how to do it, and not just do it. I mean, execution excellence in this space. I believe wholeheartedly in her mission, which is to build women as economic leaders. And I'm not saying it verbatim, so please go on and read the exact wording, but I know that that's the heart of what she is striving to do. And she's built a community of women, and this is the beauty of it. One of the slogans for the aunties is all commas, because we don't compete. So like, right, because they're a collaborative effort. Like, they move together in terms of we help each other, we share knowledge. We're not in a place of competition. You got a t-shirt business, I got a t-shirt business. It doesn't matter. Like, there's more than enough space in this space for us to do everything we need to do. And that's the beauty of, I think, for me, why it feels like a breath of fresh air, and why I can personally sit on this platform with you and say I back them 100%. And I actually had the privilege of speaking for them in March 27th through 28th at their Built for This conference. I'm excited about that. The conference is just like the conference we had before, but this one is a level up. You can already feel energy like coming up off. Like it's going to be one. So if you have an opportunity to plug in, you can find them on every platform. But just plug into Future Rich Aunties. I'll also drop my affiliate link, so you can, if you want to buy tickets to come and do that. It is going to be an amazing time. It is 2 nights of nothing but pure get yourself together knowledge. Like, it's going to get your business in order. If you've been trying to get into government, if you've been trying anything that you've been trying to do, this is the space. Like, for women, it's really remarkable. And I actually had the opportunity to draft their theme song for this year. And if you want to check that out, you can check it out on their Facebook page. It is in their group. So
I love that, girl. She's doing everything. She's pastoring, she's teaching the kids, she's raising her own kids, she's cutting album tracks, cutting theme songs. I was really proud. I also am a huge fan of AI. I am not approaching it with fear. I'm approaching it with confidence so that I can master the tools and use it as I'm supposed to. In every endeavor, and I'm finding ways to plug it into the different spaces of my life.
Right.
And I did our theme song this year in an AI platform. So
yes, all of that.
Super proud of that.
Yes.
And I think that people are afraid that AI is going to simply replace, that it's going to take over in that way. And what I have come to learn and understand is that it desperately needs our input, our guidance. It's just sitting there otherwise. Yeah. And so how can we make sure that as we are inputting things into the AI, that we are utilizing it and building functionality for lives that uphold these principles? How can we utilize the AI to help us further what we truly believe in? And I love the way you phrased it early in the interview, where we're putting our energy into. Right. So I would love to hear your thoughts on that.
So a few things. We have to, first of all, I got to speak ministry first. So as ministry, we need to be aware of AI because, and I say this with all love and concern, you're eating right now AI sermons and you don't know it. So there has to be some ethical barriers. You can see me about that, and frameworks in place. You can see me about that. That kind of handle that. So that's one thing. For us, we need to. And I started this journey of teaching our community about AI very early. And a lot of people looked at me like I was crazy, and I did because it is always those that are socially disadvantaged that end up missing the big thing, right? And so my goal was, this isn't just a tool for them to play with. This is not just a Microsoft computer. This is a tool for them to get concrete, although AI can be a little concrete knowledge to move them into their next. So really, if you think about it, what prevents us from doing what it is that we say we want to do? It's simply knowledge. And so if I can put knowledge in the hands of a baby who wants to have a business, maybe that lemonade stand becomes the pop-off lemonade stand for the whole block because they utilize, hey, chat, teach me how to build my pricing scheme, or teach me, but we as those that are older than them have to teach them what to put in. But I think it's important that we understand how we maximize it for our advantage. Like, it's a tool for us. Like you say, don't take advantage of stuff. No, take advantage of what it can do. Don't be misled, because the human mind is always better. But I'll give you this scenario. My husband was in the hospital. I didn't understand all of the medical jargon, right? And so I fed it all to chat. I really did. Every document, every note, every conversation, I fed it all to chat. And then I mapped his plan versus what they were saying. And after I got done asking, because we don't do enough of this in our community, asking questions in the medical lane. After I got done asking all of my questions, and they were my questions based on what chat was sharing with me about what it knew, then the doctor turned to me and said, "Are you a medical professional?" No, I'm just well equipped for this space. And that's what I'm saying. Those are the things that we need. And I can't tell you how significant it is for us to be equipped with knowledge. It's not about AI. It's that AI can give us the advantage of knowledge in spaces that we did not have prior. Because that's the thing that's been with that's the thing that our community needs. I'm cool.
Say what you need to say, sis. Say what you need to say.
I,
And
I feel like that's the thing that's been withheld because, we catch on like that. We all the stuff you're looking at, accredited to us. But but if I can withhold knowledge, and I'm not, blaming one person or the other, I'm just saying, but if I can withhold knowledge that keeps me suppressed, and the mind of a suppressed person says that as a enslaved mind, even if I could run, I wouldn't.
that's right. I wouldn't know where to go. Wouldn't know where to go.
This I think puts in our hand, and it's not the savior or be all, right? But I think it puts in our hand an essential piece of, oh, I don't know how to start that business. I need business school. No, you don't. I got a master's in business. I didn't need it. Like, I'm just being honest. It didn't teach me how to open up a business. It taught me the basics behind the business, of the structure of business, the organization of business, but it didn't teach me how to physically go down to wherever and open up this and do. It didn't teach me that. But what's the practicality of what our students, what our kids need, what people need, what our communities need? They need. How do you do this? Give me the steps 1, 2, 3. And I can tell you that it's effective because I share with people all the time when they ask me, put it in chat, ask it this way, it'll give you a solution. And we do. So I think it's the knowledge piece that is so important for us to have.
I have to agree 100%, but I also feel like the creative license that it gives us also is so helpful. When I think about some of the things that I've been able to, they float around in my head. There's always something. There's always a party.
Right.
And the 10 million things that I have going on in my head, it would take me all year to crank out what I'm able to crank out with the help of ChatGPT. And also it's higher quality because when I crank something out, I can feed it to the chat and say, grammar check, spell check, format, this, that, and just the basics, the things that you would typically have to hire somebody and pay really good money to get done. A lot of the advertising and there's a lot that I'm able to manage on my own as a solopreneur, as someone, not in business for myself, not necessarily by myself. But as someone who does not have a team in place to do all of these myriad things, I'm able to kind of take it to the chat, and I have our specific channel. It doesn't know everything about me, but it knows enough that it can crank out what it's supposed to crank out. So much so that my year-end ChatGPT, I'm so proud of this. The little badge that it gave me, it called me the Queen of Kwanzaa, and I was like, hey. 100%, I will take it. And just the things that I've allowed myself to be curious about because I have that at my disposal. I don't feel silly asking ChatGPT some of the things that I would not want to go to a Facebook group and maybe ask certain things or ask certain things in other forums. And so there's a level of bravery, there's a level of creativity that's unlocked. There, of course, is the knowledge gap. And I think that when we blend what the AI is capable of with what our other AI system that we know and operate, our ancestral intelligence, when we are able to blend the two of those and meet in the middle, I think we are going to have something powerful because, like you said, we set the culture. We set, we are always at the forward edge when we are able.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think it's important that we, as educators, acknowledge that it can be used because this is going to come up in a way that we're not so happy about. But I have a LinkedIn post, and I encourage you all to go and read it. But it talks about how we have to stop using the answer as the prize for our students and allow them the creative freedom, because that's what a lot of fear is. It's going to take away creativity. Actually, you're only going to get some plain Jane results if you're not creative anyway. So, I am at that intersection as well as to ensuring that people understand that although we can use it to advance our thinking and advance our creativity, that we're required to put that in. I mean, what would you rather have? A doctor that had cancer that was an expert, a doctor that had cancer a doctor that is treating cancer,
Mhm.
that's an expert in that field, or a doctor that's treating cancer with an expert in that field that has a tool called
Mhm.
artificial intelligence, and they're working together. Like, give me the best of the best, right?
All the stuff.
So we just have to understand that, you know, our expertise is limited. We don't have the ability to run through millions and millions of internet articles, tools, but this does. And so, you know, it's a good thing, but there are some safeguards we have to always be mindful of. So
Mhm.
both places.
And I'm always in favor of teaching students to use it appropriately, teaching them the dangers and the pitfalls, and showing them what can happen when this goes awry and why you should not use it in this manner, or why, you know, it will be so much stronger if you use it the correct way. Because, you know, it's like you tell a kid, don't touch it. They got to find out if the stove is hot or not.
And they don't touch it properly. Can I just say that?
No,
If I can
they
calm the
don't.
nerve,
They're going to go lay their face on it.
oh my gosh! If I could just calm the nerve of every educator, you don't have to worry. They do not know how to use it the correct way. In fact, it's too much in terms of putting in the right questions for them to even think about. Like, if it's not text friendly in some young people jargon, they're not really that interested. Can you give me the answer if I screenshot this? That's where they are. That's not even the way in which, you know, they can use it. And so they may get a few things right here and there, but at some point you'll be aware. So don't worry.
And that's the other thing. I would encourage parents and educators and pastors, and I would encourage everybody to start using it yourself, because you'll start to spot the patterns. You'll know it when you see it. You'll know it when you hear it. It's going to look and feel a certain way, down to the fact that, you know, I thought I was being smart. I'm going to make them handwrite it, and then they can't use it, and they won't. Girl, when I got the page back that had the chat confirmation at the bottom, the little block, the square block, this version allows for greater use of, and I was like, handwritten and turned into me as original. So you're gonna see it, you're gonna know it, and you know, on the other hand, everybody else is too. So you know, being certain that we're utilizing it appropriately on all sides.
Man, because I've sat in a, and I won't name anything, but sat in a ministry event and literally listened to a whole AI sermon. How would I know? Because I know. There are some things that AI does really well. Repetition and alliteration and those things. Yeah. So So I was like, hey.
Well, and a learned scholar such as yourself would spot that. And I think that, again, the more people fool around with it and play with it and whatnot, I think one of the things that I did early on when I first learned about it, I said, Mama, come here, you got to see this. I was like, what do you want to learn about today? And she looked at me crazy. I was like, anything, it doesn't matter. She was like, underwater basket weaving. Write an essay about the virtues of underwater, and it made underwater basket weaving look and feel and sound like it was a college course being offered, and that, like, and she was like, you can do that? I was like,
yeah,
you shouldn't, but you can. And just reading through that and seeing it and seeing the power of it, she was encouraged to, like, okay, well, let me fool around with this, and and sometimes she'll ask me to do something for her, and I'll be like, Mama, that chat can do that. Put it in the chat. Put it in chat. Mama. Put it in chat. And then send it to me. I'll look it over, but start it in the chat, and I'll get back to it.
And it's not laziness, but it frees us from spending time on things when we could do other things. When I wrote my first business plan, I used to have a moving company in Virginia. In 2008, it took me about 2 months to write out the whole plan. It was very long, right? But every business plan that I've written after that, as solid as they are, I've written with AI, because I'm going to give you everything that you need to formulate the plan for me. I'm not giving you what you tell me is generic and great, but yeah, it definitely is. So now you ask me, why would I spend 2 months writing a business plan when I can crank it out? And
I could turn in a profit 2 months from now. I don't have time for that. And again, this draws us right back to the principle of the night. What do we believe? And if we truly believe that we can use this as a tool, if we truly believe that we can change our future, that we can drive our future to a better place by utilizing this tool, then we got to get on board and do just that.
Yeah, it's important. It's really important, because the truth is it's not going anywhere. And the other truth is you've been talking to Belinda and some old people already. Like they in your bank account, they at your fast food restaurant, they talk at McDonald's. They
didn't even know it.
Already, even before you knew. Yeah. And so like it is already present. So it's just going to get, and I can't even say worse, but it's just going to increase. Yeah. So it's better for us to get ahead of it, to know what we're dealing with, to know how we can take advantage of it or ethically guard it, than for us to be lost in it.
That's right. Because for everything that it's going to replace, it's going to open up 10 more options for what you can be and how you can monetize and how you can move in the world and how you can help and serve your community. Let's not forget, like everybody's not on there just making money. Like some of this is really helping us to understand how we can serve each other and serve our village.
Right.
Girl. Ooh, this is good. I'll stay parked right here for another hour if you let me. Let's do this. As our time really does come to a close, I want to hear from you the same thing that I've heard from every single guest this year, and it's become sort of our tradition on a modern celebration. I want to hear from you what your thoughts are around the theme for this year. Every year, the founder selects a theme and he writes a message and everything. But I want to hear from different individuals how they're reflecting on it and what it really means to me. So the theme for Kwanzaa 2025 is practicing the 7 principles in dimly lit times, lifting up the light, hurrying the dawn.
Okay.
One more time, or you think you got it?
I think I'm okay.
It's a doozy.
First of all, intellect on 10. Yeah. I think that it is an application of all of the things that we know to do that we don't always highlight in our everyday life. I think that lifting up the light is us pulling all those elements together to be in that place of faith. So that community, that collaborative work, those unity, that all of that together to be in that collaborative space. And yes, we're in a dimly lit space. Like life might look a little bleak right now, and all the things behind us might look a little bleak. So we're carrying some baggage, and we're looking at some baggage, but I believe that we are the light that carry it forward. And so we just need to move in that space and, kind of demonstrate what we know to do, demonstrate who we know we serve and what we know to do. And that's just to stand up in a place and cry out what's right and what's wrong. If it clears a room, just to do the thing that we need to do to ensure that we land in a space of unity and faith and love and care and concern for those around us. Because I think that's the greater good of everything that we could do. So that's kind of my thought. I don't know if that's right, but
listen, we're not after right answers. We're after good answers. I absolutely love what you said and how you framed it, because to be the light that has to go forth in these dimly lit times. The theme last year was eerily similar, really? And I was like, yeah, and we're still here. It's one of those things that I think calls on us to be encouraged, because even though it's dark, it's dimly lit. It's not completely dark, right? And so moving forward with all 7 of these principles, I think is the way that we navigate our way out of this. It's the way that we not only get ourselves out of here, but we lead others to the light as well.
Right. I agree.
This has been fantastic.
I've had a great time here.
I have so enjoyed spending time with you. Do you have any closing thoughts, anything that you want to leave us with, any nuggets, reminders, What would you like to say?
I don't think I have much. I thank you for allowing me to come on and have this conversation with you. I'm hoping that people log on and really understand that what unites us is our common beliefs, and that faith is a foundation that moves us forward if we're moving actively in the principle. So that's kind of all I have.
That's beautiful. That's not a lot, girl. That's pivotal. I love it. I am going to thank you. And I do want you to know that myself, my family, and this community, the Living Kwanzaa 365 community, we are holding you in love as you continue to heal and to grow and grieve. We just pour out all of our love and blessings towards you.
I appreciate it.
And your family. And we are so excited that we're going to get to support you in all of your ventures. We're going to be buying some t-shirts and looking for your next big move, because you're part of this family too now. So
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And to everyone at home, thank you, thank you, thank you. We've done it again. Here we are at the end of our Kwanzaa celebration for 2025. I cannot believe that, Kwanzaa is wrapping up once again. But one thing that I am very, very excited about is everything that is coming forward in the new year. Remember, we are living Kwanzaa 365. We are not done just because our 7-day window for this holiday is over. There are lots of fun things coming down the pipe. I am thrilled that you guys are going to be staying on board with me to experience all of that. If you didn't get a chance to catch the entire series, make sure you go back and watch all the other episodes. We had 7 fabulous guests this year. If you did stay on board and you watched from beginning to end this year, then please, please, please go back and catch last year's episode and the previous year. We've got all of those things archived here so that you guys can watch and stay abreast of what's happening. You can see our previous guests, and we'll be doing a little bit of catching up with them as the days go on. So for this evening and for 2025, I want to say to you, Happy Kwanzaa. I want to say to you, Happy New Year, and Hariza Kwanzaa. May your Kwanzaa be blessed. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Candles burning bright tonight. 7 candles, one in hope inside. Hands together, hearts aligned. Kwanzaa whispers, it's our time. Harvest songs and stories told. Ancestors' wisdom, strong and bold. Drum beats echo, voices rise.